class, and he said, "Yeah, I'm going to tell you what all these cards mean, but you really need to be paying attention to the card and seeing what sticks out at you." And so every day this week, when I've been pulling tarot cards, I for sure have been looking at what sticks out at me, and so that I am looking at what maybe the message might be. And I think, don't quote me, but I think that when I do it Sunday and I do the thing I said I was going to do, talk about all of the cards that I've gotten so far this week, I think there's going to be a little bit of a story there. And
Yeah.
of course, I understand that my brain's making patterns out of shit too, but
Yeah. Well, that's why when I teach tarot classes, I I don't ever go, "Okay, everybody, here's the little book that comes with your cards. Read that," because that's pointless. You're not going to memorize the deck that way. You can't. I mean, memorization of the cards compared to the meaning in the book is not only extremely difficult to just remember all that,
yeah.
but it's also it gets in the way of your intuition with the cards. So that's why I don't teach that. I teach the symbolism that's in the card itself.
Yeah, but I think that if somebody doesn't has never really thought about the symbolism in the cards or is new to tarot, they should look at the book just for a guide as to what it is. But when I'm pulling my cards every day, at first I was like waiting to pull them while I was live, and I'm not doing that anymore because I kind of want to have an idea of what I'm going to talk about. But I think you need to have at least, it's like learning how to read and understanding how the letters go together to make a word, and then how the words go together to make a sentence. You sort of have to understand the symbolism before you can actually step away from that symbolism enough to actually realize, okay, yeah, I know what the colors, because I can remember those things. I remember the colors. I can sort of remember what the numbers really mean. And so when I can let that go, now that I don't have to remember what the definition of the card is, because I have those numbers, symbols, colors, letters, whatever, in the back of my head, it's easy when my eye goes just naturally to like the roots of that card for me today. And the roots going through those fingers for me was me having control over the growth that
Mhm.
I'm going through right now, where it might not be that way for somebody else.
Right. Well, that is, you know, um, you have to start somewhere. So, what I'm saying when I say that I teach the symbolism, that's the starting point.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I
A-
totally.
And
I mean,
then
that have like
and
sounded
then
like I
down the
agree with you,
road
but
you
yeah.
do what you're doing, which is you take that symbolism and expand upon it and then create your own symbolism on top of it.
Except for the one thing that I don't feel confident still in is that I don't know how to lay them out properly. I don't know. I can lay the one down in the middle. I can lay the bridge card. I can lay the past. I can lay the present. And then I don't know where the fuck I'm supposed to go.
Yeah. Well, there's
You've
a
tried to help me, and
yeah,
I can't remember it. That's
there's
my ADHD brain that won't let me.
there's a few different I mean, if you can't make yourself remember a particular pattern, then you just kind of got to make up your own pattern and assign your own meaning
Okay,
to it.
so for me, after I do the past behind it, the future, and on the other side, I would go down, and this is what the root of it all was,
Mhm.
and then I would go above, and this is the ethos, the what the gods and the universe are trying to tell you, and then up the side for me is how I see it, how other people see it, what your hopes and fears are, and what the outcome is.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
That you got it. Um, the only I the top card, you lay your first card, you lay your bridge card,
Yeah.
and then I usually lay the root card first, then the pass, then the top
Okay.
card. I kind of just go in a circle, but you can lay them out any way you want.
Okay.
But the card on top, the ethos or what
Yeah.
the universe wants you to know, often I read that card as what helps you
Mm.
because it fits into the pattern of how I read the cards better that way.
Yep.
But that's just a personal thing.
Kat sent me her cards tonight. She did her first reading for 2023. She had
Hmm.
like 4 or 5 um, major arcana, and she had the sun crossing her.
The sun?
Yep. She was like, "Oh, it's going to be intense." I'm like, "No, dude, it's going to be awesome."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so there's different ways to read that cross card too, because it can be a cross, meaning something that's in your way, but it can also be a bridge because you got the past behind it and the future in front of it. So I, a lot of times, read it like that. Like if
Yeah.
it is a card that is a challenging type of card, I'll read that as a cross,
You're right.
something's in your way. But if it's a really positive card like the sun,
Yeah.
I don't read it that way at all. I read it, okay, now this cross is no longer a cross, it's a bridge. This is what takes you from your past into your future.
Yeah.
So how I would interpret that card in her reading, as the sun, the thing that takes her from her past into her future is joy, happiness, celebration, all the good things.
I have so many things I want to say. You should be so proud of me right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you keeping it to yourself?
Oh, yeah. Because
Okay.
just in case, because no, yeah.
Yeah, you got to.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, yep, yep.
Yep. So, um, what I really wanted to talk about, and what we were talking about before we came on, when I thought you were trying to dog me, is how our bones hold a lot of trauma, or even I would say probably if it holds trauma, it holds good stuff too. And how I feel like that when those bones are broken or wounded in some way, they release the stuff back into you.
Yep.
And the reason why I wanted to talk about it was because of what happened to both my mother and my cousin, and how I see that trauma being, especially my cousin, because he lived through his for a long time, the heart attack he had, and not just bones but organs too. I think that was the other thing that I
Hmm.
was thinking about when I was like watching stupid Hollywood Graveyard today and seeing how really young people died for no good reason. And you just wonder and know that our body is has points of energy that are um, collectors of energy and also dispersers of energy. So when you have a person who had a heart attack, like my cousin or my mother, who had a broken hip and died from that, what do what's the symbology behind those things that happen to those people? So for my mom, and I only learned it later because I kept looking for reasons for why she died. Your hips hold a lot of familial trauma. And so when you're 72 years old and you break your hip, in my opinion, metaphysically, all of the trauma that you've experienced now comes flowing out into your lymphatic system, your bloodstream, whatever. Because when you break a bone, you bleed. even if it's internal. And so all of that stuff comes out. And then with my cousin breaking his heart, he had a heart attack. So a broken heart, and all of his trauma was in there, in that heart. And so that all came flowing out. And he said it was one of the hardest things he ever had to heal from. And obviously, if you break your heart, that's a thing and that's a really big deal. But I think there's a lot of metaphysical and spiritual stuff that Western doctors don't think
Yeah,
about.
I was just gonna say, that is more, you know, um, Eastern medicine has a
Yeah.
lot of how um, different parts of your body are connected to different areas of your life, basically.
Yeah. I've been trying to give a lot of love to my lower belly because, my dad gave so much hate to it
Yeah,
recently. So I've been really working hard on that and trying to just appreciate how much trauma that part of my body absorbed, because it was a constant barrage of hate speech
right?
driven at it. So, I mean, I know my hips hold a lot. I can feel it when I walk. And when we were at the last Hawk Fest and we got massages done, and she told me how I walked wrong, I never had a massage therapist like just say, okay, I want you to lay up here and I don't want you to move. I want you to lay like you would just lay normal so I can look at the way your legs lay. And you think when you're sitting up like in a recliner, like I'm sitting up right now and I'm looking down at my legs, well, that doesn't, what would she see? But when you're laying on your back, especially like on a harder surface, because a massage table is not like a bed. When you lay that way, you should pay attention to what your legs do and how they shift. How do they lay? How do they roll? And so my left leg, which is the one that I favored my entire life, with my bad knee, I feel like rolls out sort of. And but my right leg, that the one that I used to overcompensate forever, doesn't turn out at all. It's straight up and down. So I've got one leg that rolls out and one that sits straight, because when I walk, I pull everything towards my left side, trying to protect that side. You think you're not stepping on that side, but you really are protecting that side. It's just this really weird fucking thing. But because I have all this trauma to my hips from the way that I've protected my knee, which I probably should look at what the knees mean. I don't know what that means. But my hips for sure are fucked up, and um hold a lot of really weird trauma. And they're doing all this weird popping and shit now. So I know they're letting stuff out, and just kind of wanting to see what's going to happen with all of that, you know,
Mm-hmm.
weird ass trauma that's going to come out of there.
I'm
Let's see.
trying to look up what kind of
Pride. Pride
what?
is your humility.
What?
Ego. That's what the metaphysical meaning of knees are.
I was looking for stomach.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe it should be abdomen.
Well, in this what does the stomach represent spiritually? It is the story we tell ourselves, our place in society, how we reflect on ourselves, our families, our bodies. The stomach relates to emotional aspect, the spleen to the mental. Abdomen might be good. Do you see anything different than I saw?
Worry, anxiety, and overthinking are the emotions associated with the stomach. If you constantly
Yeah.
worry or overthink things, especially negative thoughts, get anxious easily, you may have a stomach imbalance or function disorder.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's just, all I'm seeing is worry and anxiety, worry and anxiety.
So I like my whole life, and also I'm pissed off. So I constantly have UTIs, and you
Well,
know,
excessive anger is connected to the liver.
oh yeah, well, but the only thing about good about that is that I eat low carb.
Yeah, but you also drink.
Yeah, I do that. I'm drinking right now, as a matter of fact. Also, I'm a Sagittarius, so fucking horses have really skinny legs and weird knees. So there's that issue. And then there is that. And then we have long necks too, so there's always throat problems.
Yeah.
My mother, hey, shut up. My mother always talked about that, about the knees, my neck, and my bladder, how I was going to have problems with my fucking urinary tract. And I don't know if, like, because she said that, you know, and I
Yeah.
heard it my whole life. But she always said, and that's why I have such a thick milk, because I'm a bull. Well, she did.
Yeah.
She's like, look at how everybody's built like their fucking zodiac sign. Look at them. They're all built the same way. Got like nice thin legs with pretty legs. I got my big middle section. Your dad is like all proud and fucking bull chested. My mom was like into all of that shit. And then she broke her hip and all of her sadness came out and she died.
Yeah. I mean, um, I have known more than one person that has had either a heart attack or had to have open heart surgery, and they just were never the same after that. And I don't mean physically, I mean emotionally.
Yeah, because, well, and that's what, so we have a common friend who helped with your mortgage. And she had to have a double hip replacement. And one time, just because she called me and she said, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know why. Like, suddenly I'm over processing. Her mother, her sister, and her dad all died at like within months of each other. If that wasn't, enough. And then she'd have that double hip replacement. And she hit me up and said, I don't know what's going on with me. I don't know why. I feel so horrible all the time and I can't get past all of this stuff. And I told her, I was like, yo, man, that's a lot of emotion that you stored in your hips, you know, all that crap that went down with your sister and your mom and your dad all at the same fucking time. And then you go in and you have your hips replaced,
Hmm.
and then all of it just came flooding out into your body, and so now you have to, she was having a hard time feeling confident or feeling like she was allowed to to feel all the feel she was feeling. And when I told her that that was, that seems logical to me. If your hips are holding all that energy and you have them taken out, some of that, all that, the whole blood thing. Anytime you're bleeding all over the place, that stuff's getting let out.
Yeah.
And for my whole life, every bad emotion I ever felt was in my stomach. And then on top of it, Gus.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I really am trying to give myself permission to be and to enjoy the when I decide to give myself that time off to eat or drink or do whatever. I'm trying to really enjoy those moments instead of feeling guilty about them. It's easy right now because it's cold and I'm wearing stretchy clothes.
Uh,
It's so dumb, because inside of myself, I understand that I'm never going to go back to that place I was when I was 25. But yet, that's the standard I hold myself to.
right.
I can't just be grateful that at 61 I look 41. I can't do that.
Well, that's the Sag extraness in you.
I know, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I actually looked at myself in the mirror tonight without makeup and was like, okay, that's not so bad. But still, it's not like I looked when I was 25. So dumb. So dumb.
Yeah. And that's okay though. I mean, I mean, I've told you over and over and over again that you're beautiful and you don't listen to me anyway,
I don't
so
listen to anybody. It's
I
not just
know.
you.
I know.
And and the fact that I keep thinking I'm going to die any minute.
Oh my God.
I do. I just I keep thinking, I'm like, oh my gosh, so I'm 61. You know, 20 years I'll be dead. It's
Oh my
so
God.
fucked up. And I really need to stop it. I really want to try to enjoy myself. And this is
Yeah.
why I like MDMA. I know I shouldn't have said that. It's too late. It's out there. But when I take that, I don't feel that way for like 3 days.
Well, maybe you need to work on figuring out a way to feel like that even without it.
Well, I got to talk to on the ninth, I get to finally talk to my therapist. And then after that, I need to talk to a psychiatrist.
Oh, you get to talk to her on Monday?
Yes.
Oh my God.
She's got a whole lot to hear, doesn't she, in an hour?
Yeah, she better make it a double appointment.
I know. I was thinking the
I
same
don't think
fucking
you're gonna
thing.
get through it in an hour.
Because I moved out. I mean,
I think you need
technically, I
to
moved out and I'm getting divorced
I think
since
you
I
need
talked to
to
her.
make a list with bullet points just so you can hit the main topics.
You're gonna have to help me because that's way overwhelming.
Okay.
That lady I've been watching with the ADHD thing has really been wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's been
Is
a
she on
couple of
YouTube or TikTok?
yeah, she's on YouTube. I've sent you some stuff that she
Oh,
does.
okay, that one. Yeah.
Yeah. She's made me almost cry a few times. Not like she wasn't trying to make me cry,
Right.
but yeah, just the things she said, the overwhelming thing, like
You can
talking
you
about the
you can
sensory
relate
thing.
so much,
Oh
huh?
my gosh, the sensory thing. I can't touch that. Like the doing dishes for her was really hard because of the greasy stuff. And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, that's part of shit I don't like. And then I thought about how I was going to vacuum the other day, but I couldn't. The vacuum hose gets curved up and plugging shit into one wall, and then I have to move it to another wall, and then I have to empty the thing out. Oh my fucking god! Like, can it just not be easy for me to suck this shit up that I'm trying to do? And I was thinking, oh my, okay, so there's ADHD.
Yeah.
I want to do that. I want to pull out the vacuum, but it's so fucking overwhelming because all of the shit I know I'm gonna have to go through, plugging it at the right place, oh my, ugh, you know. And so then she starts like, and then the fidget thing, and I realize that all the time my hands are moving, I'm touching myself, I'm scratching. It constantly, it just never stops. What could I do to occupy my hands? And then some of the stuff she was looking at was like these really weird squeezy things.
Yeah.
No, that's like touching fat. I could, oh, it's so gross to me. But the wheelo thing, that's why I tried to explain it to Bob too last night, was why I like the Pokemon thing, because I can pull my phone up and then I can just start fucking with them and organizing them and deleting them and doing whatever I have to do. It gives me something else to think about, other than the anxiety. And then also she said that she can never just do one thing at a time. She's got to do multiple things at a time. And I think that's why, as with ADHD, we get lost in our conversations because we're thinking of so many things all at once and trying to do too many things at once. And I don't know how to stop that
Yeah.
either.
Um, so I tried to explain because I have attention deficit as well. It kind of goes hand in hand with the OCD, but I have it pretty mild compared to a lot of people.
You think
And
mine is severe?
I think it's probably worse than mine, yeah.
Okay.
But the way I try to like explain it to somebody who has a normal functioning brain
Yeah.
is like if you were reading a book and instead of starting at page 1 you flip to page 10
Yeah.
and read about half the page and then flipped randomly through the book and stopped on another page and started reading that page and
Yeah.
then flipped back to where you were and read a couple more paragraphs and then flipped randomly to somewhere else in the book. That's what my brain does constantly. So I can't ever fully like it's really really hard for me to focus on one thing for a long-ish period of time because I just I'm thinking about 20 other things, and a lot of times when I start something there's just thing after thing after thing that has to be done before that or instead of that that one thing, that task can be done. So it's just, it's not just distraction, it's brain disorganization,
That,
really.
yes. Yes. I was talking to Barbara about it today, and she said, I don't understand why you write everything down. I said, because if I don't write it down and I don't put it in my planner, it doesn't exist.
Yeah,
So I have to, I mean, I know I want to do yoga every day. I know that. But if it's not in my planner, then I'm not going to do it.
yeah.
So
Well, that's
I,
another hallmark of attention deficit is not really being able to grasp how long things take.
mm-mm. So that's really fucking an amazing thing you just said, because I think that's why when we have ADHD, I'm going to try to explain this as best as I can, but you don't think that you have a lifespan. You don't think that years or decades or anything means anything. As, at least for me, like I just thought I was, no, it's not going to happen to me. And like teenagers say, or think that they're not ever, that's not going to happen to me. I won't get hurt. I won't get killed. I won't die from any of that shit. Like literally until I got to this age, I did not realize I was going to age and that I would have a limited lifespan. And so I missed out on a lot of shit because I just thought, well, whatever, one day I'm going to go ahead and do that thing, whatever it was. And now here I am. And so I'm trying to cram enjoyment into this little last part of my life because I did not fucking, I didn't take it seriously. And that's
Yeah.
ADHD.
Well, that's yeah, but that's also kind of your brain telling you that because of the mental illnesses, with anxiety and ADHD,
Yeah.
they convince you of things that aren't really based in reality. Because we've had this conversation before where you've talked about how you felt like you wasted your life, you didn't get to do
Yes.
anything, and
All the
but that's not
time.
really true. You've gotten to do a lot of things in your life. You've had a lot of experiences. It's just you didn't really appreciate them at the time, and now it's hard for you to look back and remember them even.
Yeah, I
So,
guess. Because
you
I don't
know,
feel like I did anything. I mean, I had a kid. I've been married twice. What else did I do?
Hey, we're twinsies.
Wait, what'd you say?
We're twinsies.
We're twinsies?
Yeah,
How?
I had a kid and been married twice too.
Oh, that's so sweet. Look at it. That's a good reason for us to get married. All right, what'd you say? Okay, go ahead.
no, I
Sorry.
was just, you have done a lot. You've gone to, you've gone a lot of things, events. You've gone a lot of places. You know,
I went to Greece and I've seen the United States and the Bahamas.
which is more than a lot of people do. I mean, that is all. I'm just saying that is also a hallmark of ADHD. It's not being able to appreciate the good things that have happened. You tend to focus when you look back at the past, you tend to fixate on either really super negative things or a really great, super great time that you had, but all the little things that happen in between those times just filter through and you don't register. So your life becomes a series of devastating catastrophe and really high highs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
And so you
I
kind of
see
lose
it.
track of all the other little things that have happened along the way that you appreciated in the moment, but as soon as you were done with that moment, it's gone out of your head.
Yeah, yeah. Nope, that's absolutely true. But I think probably because there was a standard that was given to me too of what my life was supposed to look like by the time I got to this age. And I was supposed to have a whole bunch of grandkids. I was supposed to be very well off, you know, and but that's the whole, I don't know, like fucking gig of life. It doesn't turn out the way people had it planned for you or even the way you had it planned for you. You can try to have a plan, but it doesn't mean that that's how shit's going to go down.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you have a plan and you know, and the plan works out perfectly, this is my plan. I'm going to make this much money. I'm going to live in this kind of house and this is how shit's going to go. You could have that plan and be trying to work that plan, but other stuff's going to come in there and fuck with that whole plan. And so and oh, so look at me and this fucking real estate agent today. We're talking about this shit. It's a negotiation. Life is really a fucking negotiation between you and your gods or yourself and whatever's happening. The thing is you don't get everything you want. You get a little bit of everything you wanted, but not all of it. You don't get, so like I got to go to Greece. I would have liked to go to a few other countries, but hey, I got to go to Greece, even though I was 15 and I really didn't get to appreciate it all. From afar, I can go, yeah, you were a dummy. You should have paid more attention to how cool that was.
Yeah.
And right. And I got to have a kid and I got to marry two very different men. And I got to experience a whole lot of sides of contemporary society. I've been on both sides of the political spectrum, or like not even just both, like a whole bunch of sides, because I don't think I fall into any kind of really specific category of political persuasion. I was very conservative in how I looked at a lot of things. I was probably pretty fucking racist, and I've got to I've opened my mind to a lot of different things and people and situations.
Hmm.
Why did that sound so lackluster when you said mm-hmm?
No, Holly just is in my face right now.
Mm.
Oof. What you doing, baby girl?
See, nobody can see the cuteness.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I think, I don't know. It's hard because it makes me sad when I hear you say how much you feel like you missed out because
yeah,
there's no real fix to that.
no, but I don't think I really paid attention before that there was other stuff in between those places that I feel
Yeah.
like I missed.
I
And
and this maybe this should be a topic for another night too, but because there's kind of this uh sort of a new agey concept that is popular for a while now on the whole, gratitude thing. And I get where they're coming from. If you learn gratitude and learn to be, what they're trying to teach you is not really gratitude, though. They're trying to teach you to be happy where you are right now.
yeah,
And that's really difficult for a lot of people. But, um, it really does make a difference. The more you can embrace be feeling contented with what you have or where you are in your
yeah,
life currently, you do tend to be happier in general. And your anxiety goes down too.
yeah.
So maybe we should make that a topic for
I
another
think that
night.
sounds good. Yep.
Ugh,
What?
nothing. Holly, come here. What are you doing? Come here, Holly Bear. What are you getting into, little girl?
Things she shouldn't be.
Yep. So, ugh. She's not happy because I've been feeding her less.
Why?
Because she's getting a little chunky.
Does she have a hot dog behind her neck?
Yeah, I gotta keep her from getting too many sausage rolls.
Yup.
She's my good girl. My good girl?
Does she miss me?
Yes. She misses her boyfriend too.
More than she misses me.
No, she misses you because you pay attention to her and talk to her and all that other stuff that is necessary for a thriving Hollyberry. She's watching you right now.
She's watching me
Yeah.
because I'm eating chips.
I too like chips.
Yeah, me too. They're really good. They're the jalapeno ones.
Well, you can't have those, Holly. They would burn your butthole.
The cute butthole that it is. Oh my gosh. I'm really disappointed that nobody jumps into our conversations.
Yeah. Well,
Anybody can listen?
So we
we
just got to keep
also tend
coming.
to have a lot of technical difficulties too, so
Not tonight, we didn't.
no.
We just need to keep doing it because, and that's the other thing, we haven't been consistent. That's how I made coffee night a thing, was by doing it. If you don't do it every week, then people just don't know to come.
Holly.
You're not going to say nothing about that?
No. I mean, I agree that consistency is a good thing, but life has gotten kind of lifey.
That's true.
Yeah, it's hard to really do that kind of stuff when there's a lot of traveling and holidays and shit going on too.
That is true. I'm going to eat all of these chips.
It's okay. Go ahead and
They're
eat 'em.
those Miss Vicky ones.
Yep. Are they good?
Fuck, dude. Jalapeno. So good.
You gotta go outside, Holly. Okay.
All right. I'm going to let you go then.
Okay. You have a good night,
You
and
too.
I will talk to everybody soon.
All right.
Bye.
See you. Bye.